Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. We are the Hologrumps. I'm Colm.
And I'm Liam.
And we're here today to talk to you about a very, very special topic. Strange New Worlds. Will it go ahead? What's been happening? And the rumours we've heard.
Or haven't heard. But before we get started, if you like what you see here, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and share our video around because why not? It could be good. So we were inspired to take a look at this topic by a Midnight's Edge video, which covered the same thing, but we'll be looking at the same news articles slightly differently. Simply because the only reason we're looking at the same two articles is because they provide the best side-by-side comparison.
And we have, trust us, we have actually looked for other articles and things like that. We did a lot of digging, and this is actually the best stuff we could find. Alright, so it should come as no surprise to anyone that Section 31 was announced on January 14th of 2019. Now, the quote reads as follows, and hopefully we'll get to put it up on screen. Today, CBS made the news of a Section 31 show with Michelle Yeoh official. This morning, CBS announced that a new live-action series was in development for CBS All Access starring Michelle Yeoh, who has had a recurring role in Star Trek Discovery. According to CBS, the untitled series will expand on Yeoh's current role as a member of Starfleet's Section 31 Division, a shadow organization within the Federation, on Star Trek Discovery.
Now, this is a little bit interesting because it looks strangely familiar when you compare it to the Strange New Worlds announcement, which came out on May 15th, 2020, this year. It reads, "It has been officially confirmed that CBS All Access has ordered a new series titled Star Trek Strange New Worlds. According to CBS, the show will be based on the years of Captain Christopher Pike when he manned the helm of the USS Enterprise, which sets the series before the events of Star Trek, the original series. Strange New Worlds will feature Anson Mount as Captain Pike, Ethan Peck as Mr. Spock, and Rebecca Romijn as Number 1, all reprising their roles from the second season of Star Trek Discovery."
I don't really know what to say on that, to be honest. But
Yeah, there's not really an awful lot to elaborate on there. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. But you can see the comparison there that both of them look like they're all ready to go ahead, all good to go, all green
yeah, they
lit.
all seem like they're these massive surprises that we were supposed to be. They've written the script, they've hired the actors, everything's great.
We get even more insight into these shows because, as you'll see, they actually interview the star of Section 31, Colm.
Yeah, well, before I get into this, it's quite an interesting comparison here because we couldn't find any footage of this. So this is just a journalistic interview, so there's no actual video footage of this announcement, which is a little bit different to what's coming up afterwards. So Michelle Yeoh said, "I'm so excited to continue telling these rich Star Trek stories. Being a part of this universe and this character specifically has been such a joy for me to play. I can't wait to see where it all goes. Certainly, I believe it will go where no woman has gone before."
I wonder if she wrote the all caps on woman, or did they?
Yeah, because I know we did, that was peculiar.
It probably was a written statement on her behalf then in that case, because it'd be very strange if they took the liberty of changing
Writing,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so then, of course, we all saw the announcement video from Anson Mount, Ethan Peck, and Rebecca Romijn on their Instagram.
They don't have a shared. They don't have a shared Instagram, but yeah.
on the InstaWeb, the place with the pictures, they said, "It means even more for us to be able to announce this show right now at a time when so much of the planet is hurting. And we are going to get to work on a classic Star Trek show that deals with optimism and the future." I always find it funny when they say that Star Trek has to deal with optimism and the future as opposed to optimism in the future.
What's worse is like, I'd be offended if Star Trek did not deal with the future.
I think that's the whole point. Star Trek World War II, but it's not a holodeck simulation. It's just
World War
World
II.
War II.
Yeah. And someone happens to say the word Star Trek.
It's all about Zephyr Cochrane's great
plight.
great
His great
grandfather.
plight. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
yeah, but it should deal with optimism in the future.
it's what we all expect from Star Trek. And now you compare this to, say, the production team for Section 31. We have a little quote here for what that production team would have been or will be.
Or is.
Yeah, so the series will be produced by CBS Television Studios, Secret Hideout, and Roddenberry Entertainment. Alex Kurtzman, Heather Cadden, Rod Roddenberry, and Trevor Roth will serve as executive producers. Aaron Bayers will serve as co-executive producer, along with Bo Young Kim, Erica Lippold, who will also write the series.
Now, this will look a little bit familiar when you compare it to Strange New Worlds. As it says, the series premiere was written by Akiva Goldsman. Now, this is a slight difference here, because it says here it was written. It's in the past tense, as opposed to the production team for Section 31, which says it will be written and produced. So it's just a slight difference there. So the series premiere was written by Akiva Goldsman, with the story by Akiva Goldsman, Alex Kurtzman, and Jenny Lumet. Goldsman, Kurtzman, and Lumet will serve as the executors. Joking. As executive producers, in addition to Henry Alonso Myers, the magicians, Heather Caden, Rod Roddenberry, and Trevor Roth. Aaron Bayers, Akela Cooper, and Davey Perez will serve as co-executive producers. Akiva Goldsman will remain an executive producer. Straight away, too many cooks, too many producers.
It's very stressful to see that. It is the equivalent for anyone who doesn't really know what a producer does on a show. They sit there and they tell you where you're allowed to spend money.
Yep. And of course that will give them some form of creative control, because their egos won't not allow it, and of course they're paying with their hard-earned cash they wanted to
so if you were to write a series as Akiva Goldsman and then suddenly produce it, you would have almost complete creative control.
Yeah. But I think old Star Trek used to just have one or two executive producers
per episode. Yeah.
So, but what did Picard have? Was it 19?
19, the running joke.
Yeah, and it showed a lack of creative vision, which of course we need. Creative vision, visionaries.
We need just one vision, good or bad. You need to just stick to an idea. You can't.
Yeah, which will be the advantage of episodic storytelling, that they'll be able to have bad episodes and good episodes, and bad episodes may not, unless they outweigh the good episodes, which I'm sure CBS will manage to do. It won't sink a whole season.
Now, there are actually some notable points on this whole thing. It is remarkable that we can't find out when or where Michelle Yeoh actually said these things. With all the fanfare about SNW, Strange New Worlds, for those of you that don't know my little abbreviation, with the cast making a video announcement, it's gone. Did Kurtzman promise something he couldn't deliver on, basically?
I think he was backed into a corner with this one. Like, the fans, this is the first thing. They didn't know what this was, to have fans actually clamoring for something.
Something.
Actually want something from them for a change, other than to stop making Star Trek.
Please stop making Star Trek. Yeah.
But the only news Kurtzman gives on Section 31, and I almost find it a running joke now, is they're breaking scripts as we speak.
I just imagine him going into a conference room and tearing scripts in half, like those strongmen used to tear phone books in half.
They've literally broken every script beyond repair.
And a load of writers just walking out of the rooms crying.
Yeah.
That's actually what I imagine. Mm.
And do you think this is a sign of a defeat for CBS, Colin?
Have they conceded that their Trek is a failure and they are now announcing a show that is the exact same as old Trek, the real Trek?
What's that? Oh. I love the way this will be the byline for the series, like what old Trek was. It's like Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, optimism, the future, episodic. And it's
if there wasn't another franchise that had already stolen, they could have called this A New Hope.
Yeah, an apology, a new hope for Star Trek.
Yeah, because that's really what it is, or what they're trying to market it as. But
Yeah.
there are issues. Liam, who will pay for international distribution of Strange New Worlds?
Well, I think it's obvious that Netflix has no interest in moving forward with CBS Trek. They're kind of locked into an agreement with them that they have to keep making Star Trek Discovery. But as we saw from the Treks season 2, they had no interest whatsoever of putting them on Netflix. They're just not there. They didn't even have the interest in season 1 of the short treks. They just hid them in the extra features section. Like they
They
didn't
were.
have
There was like they were in the credits, basically.
yeah. Like they were just, I didn't even know they were there. Like on Netflix. It was just a surprise one day. I was looking through like extra features and all of a sudden I see the short treks are there. And of course, there are rumors going around that Amazon have been scared away from Strange New Worlds by the Mr. Plinkett review. As much as we'd love this to be true, actually no, I wouldn't.
I love the idea
true.
of Jeff Bezos
Yeah.
running out of a room because he sees a review. I know he would have nothing to do with it, but like,
Yeah.
oh!
But we were trying to find anything at all to corroborate this rumor, but in our limited capacity,
4chan.
unfortunately, we couldn't.
We don't have sources. We don't have our
take a
sources have sources.
Yeah, we got some anonymous links here on 4chan. You know, they're so reliable. Saying,
Yeah, tell you what, we'll put them up on the screen, will we? Yeah.
yeah. We don't need to say it out loud, but they're there for people to read.
Quite funny.
For
I like all
amusement.
the TMs.
Yeah.
So, Liam, do you think Netflix inadvertently paid for the initial production of SNW?
I think it's a very likely scenario that they use a huge amount of their budget in season 2 of Star Trek Discovery building the sets for the Pike show. Like
I think to a certain degree that surely CBS would have to pay Netflix to use the sets or to get the sets.
as far as I'm aware, Netflix made a really bad investment and they don't really own the rights to anything in terms of Star Trek. All they got was international distribution and they were hoping to make a lot of a lot of sweet cash out of that. But CBS would still own the rights to everything. So that's why.
Even the ground they walked on.
Yep. So Netflix don't own anything. That's why they have no interest moving forward with CBS Trek because it's not profitable for them. And that's part of the rumor for Amazon Trek as well. They were saying that Star Trek Picard has no rewatchability factor. People aren't looking at it again. And if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes ratings, you can put that up there as well. You can see that the last episode, for critics as well, was panned. It was rubbish.
It's funny because by the time we'd reviewed it, we were just like, okay, we're done. We don't need to see reviews. That's it. We're going. Goodbye.
Yeah. But I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes recently and rubbish. Like the critics, what did they give? Like 55%?
We'll see it. We'll see it now. We'll see it now. It's gonna appear. Woo, 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 woo.
Well, there it is. Yeah, 57% critic rating, and but as we discussed a lot on this show, if the season finale is bad, the whole show is bad.
If you can't stick the landing, what's the point in doing the routine? If you're a gymnast, you know.
And Colin, do you think it can go ahead if they don't get an international distributor?
Okay, so they do have CBS, which is not available in other countries such as Ireland and Europe for the most part. So unless they roll out CBS to be a global product, CBS All Access, sorry, no, they don't have a hope. But there is actually a possibility they could do that if they just got rid of the ads. Man, ads kill it.
Yeah, I think they'd have the problem that Disney Plus had, where it took them years to finally get the rights back to all their own shows for international distribution, that they could then make their own app to send out globally. And I don't think CBS has the product.
Well, to be fair, they do have a lot of shows on CBS All Access. None of them were particularly good shows, but they have a lot of quantity. And, you know, if you can't get people with quality, just bludgeon them with quantity.
Yeah, that's fair. Like Netflix takes that approach. They throw out show after show. And do you think the show is going to go ahead?
I think Section 31, just to split the two, I think Section 31 won't go ahead. I think that people will realize that there's no interest for it at all. And I do think that Strange New Worlds will go ahead, but I think it's going to take a long time. I
Yeah,
think it's competing with a lot of good series at the moment. There are actually a few good series out there. There's The Boys. We just got news that The Witcher season 2 has been given the green light to continue filming. So there's a lot of stuff coming up that's going to be really good.
yeah, actual quality. That's about it. I do think it will happen, but in what capacity? What sacrifices will they have to make?
What people will they have to throw into volcanoes to get this to work?
And yeah, so that about wraps up this video. So, if you enjoyed what you saw here, if you thought it was interesting, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below because we enjoy to respond to comments. And for the Hologrumps, I'm Liam.
And I'm Colum.
And remember, existence is futile.